This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Regina Lee.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's broadcast of the Good Neighbor Podcast. And today I'm happy to introduce everyone to the CEO of the Western chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. Welcome, Katherine Lambert. How are you?
I'm great this morning. Thank you.
You are so welcome. This is a topic very near and dear to my heart. I tell you what, I think everyone is touched by Alzheimer's and dementia these days, right?
Absolutely. If it's not currently something that's been in your family or your close friends, I promise it's in your neighborhood, in your faith communities, at work. Someone is going through this. The numbers are staggering, and I think that will continue in the coming months and years.
Yeah, I agree. So how did you get into this, Katherine?
I started about 10 and a half years ago with the Western Carolina chapter. And, my whole career in nonprofit had been in children and youth services. And I was the child of aging parents and started looking into things that were more senior related and found my way here after attending a Rotary event and hearing the Know the 10 Signs program. What should we be worried about ourselves, about our loved ones, and just knew that this was a public health crisis that was happening. And we were a little concerned about some things going on with my dad. It turned out not to be Alzheimer's, but the Know the 10 Signs before I even joined the association was how I came to know who they were. And when this opportunity came available, I was eager to join the fight.
Once you get involved, like you and me, it becomes this world that you knew nothing about. So tell us about what the Alzheimer's Association does here in the Charlotte chapter.
So just to scale it, we have 7 million individuals living in the United States with the disease. And here in North Carolina, there are more than 210,000 people living with the disease. And like you said, you were familiar with this. If you've gone down this journey, you know that it also heavily impacts caregivers. So when we start adding in about 2 caregivers to every person, we're talking about well over 500,000 people in our state that are dealing with this. So we provide care and support services, a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week helpline, programs like that Know the 10 Signs, awareness, all of those resources to folks that are on this journey, but also really look to invest in research, because we know that ultimately that is how we find our way to treatments and ultimately one day a cure. So really those 2 things hand in hand. How do we lower risk? How do we invest in research? And then how do we support people who are on the path?
Well, it sounds like then step number 1 for most, I guess, the kids of the parent who can you tell us what the 10 signs are?
So what you're really looking for are things that are different. So it's no coincidence that our helpline, our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week, sees a spike right after the holidays. So maybe you talk to your aging parents on the phone or even via Zoom or some other video medium. You can mask a lot in short conversations. And when you go home, things seem different. Maybe a very orderly house isn't as orderly, or someone who was a phenomenal cook, never needed a recipe, kind of consistently has some misses with recipes. Maybe your parent, who was an excellent math and science parent, struggles to figure out tips on a bill in a restaurant. These are all things that are out of the norm. Maybe someone they get lost on the way to something and they have a really good, or they start asking you a lot of questions. Now, remind me, what is the best way to get to place X? All of these things should be it doesn't mean there's an Alzheimer's diagnosis. It doesn't mean there's a dementia diagnosis, but they can be things that are triggers to say, maybe we should be having a conversation. Maybe we should be encouraging them to talk to their healthcare provider.
So initially, as the child noticing this when they're visiting the parents, what advice do you give? Because that is a very sensitive, delicate topic. Do you talk to them first or reach out to you guys?
So that is one of the great things about these are tough conversations. No part of these conversations are easy. And we can help. So our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week helpline, that number is 1-800-272-3900. You can call and share things you're concerned about. You can ask, should you be concerned about that? You can ask them for conversation starters. How do I have this difficult conversation? But oftentimes your loved one you're concerned about is also concerned and they haven't wanted to vocalize it. And so I find things like, I noticed you seem to have trouble with directions. Has that been happening a lot? Are you at all concerned? And maybe just that opening up that conversation can help them be more honest about it. You'll also know what you're up against. Are you up against someone who sees no differences? Or are you up against someone who says, I've really struggled to sleep, or I'm on some new medications? All of those things can influence our cognition. So really working to kind of drill down to what that is and hopefully get them speaking with their medical professional. We can help you with starting all of those conversations.
So you can be the first step then to
absolutely
helping us figure it out. Yeah.
We can be the first step, the middle step, the end step, the ongoing steps as someone goes through this journey.
Wow. That's amazing. What ages are you seeing the onset? Well, tell us the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's. That's I'm curious.
So one of the most common questions I get asked for sure. So if you think of an umbrella like animal, that's kind of what dementia is. And then underneath that, so under animal, you might have cat and dog and horse. Under dementia, you're going to have Alzheimer's and frontotemporal dementia and vascular dementia and Lewy body or Parkinson's related dementia. So those are the types of dementia. Dementia is that umbrella term for just cognitive symptoms at declining. And so you'll hear them used interchangeably. Alzheimer's is the most common type of dementia.
And then what kind of doctor does then the person go to help diagnose them properly?
So we are really working hard as the association to have more and more conversations with primary care physicians. I mean, that is where most of us start with, and would encourage you to start a conversation there. But then you may get referred, or you yourself may want to find someone who specializes in Alzheimer's and dementia, or a neurologist as well.
Yeah, amazing. So if you're looking to get help for yourself or a loved one, I noticed online you've got support groups, educational programs. Talk to us about that a little bit.
So we do have support groups. You can go to our website at alz.org/North Carolina. And there you can find all of these things. So you asked me earlier about the Know the 10 signs. Yeah. You will find there all of them and some examples. I mean, I think we all worry as we age. I know I do. I lose my keys and I think, oh, is this the beginning? And so you'll get some differences there of what is normal aging, and maybe what is something you want to have a conversation about. You can do our programs on demand, or you can find out where we're offering them either virtually or in person. The same with our support groups. You also have the link to that 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week helpline. You will talk to a licensed clinician any time of the day that you call.
Do you have support groups for the caregivers?
That is predominantly who our support groups are for. For those caregivers, those care partners. But we do have we are finding more and more people who are being diagnosed, which is a great thing, earlier in the disease progression. We know that the earlier someone and the more accurately someone is diagnosed with which type of dementia matters so much now that we have some treatments that are available and more to come, because earlier is better in pretty much every single disease in terms of diagnostics. But what we also have is a lot of individuals who are now really telling their story of they are living with this disease. They are living their best life. And so we have great resources to be able to partner folks up, connect you with someone else who maybe is in the same stages of the disease as you. And with a person living with the disease, having that connection with someone else may not be in their neighborhood, may not be in their faith community or work, but we can help pair you up to go through this journey together and share challenges and opportunities.
Wow. Well, I believe your biggest fundraiser of the year is right around the corner.
It is. So, investing in the research, the association currently has $430 million invested actively in projects. So to fund that and then make available support groups and this helpline and our programs free of charge. Our largest event across the country is the Walk to End Alzheimer's. And here in Charlotte, that is Saturday, October 19th at Truist Field. You can sign up. It is free to sign up, alz.org/walk. We do encourage folks to donate and or fundraise, but then come out and join the thousands from Charlotte who will be there for a really moving opening ceremony that includes our Promise Garden ceremony, where you will receive a flower based on your connection with the disease you're living with, supporting someone as a care partner, you're an advocate for the cause, or you're living with the disease. And then we will walk in the Uptown area.
How neat. So October the 19th, and that's every year. Are there any other events that you want to share with us?
We have other walks in the fall in kind of the greater Charlotte metro area. And then in the spring, you can find all of the dates for those on alz.org/walk as well. And then we also have our Charlotte Memory Gala, which happens in the spring. We host that at the Westin, and that will be on Saturday, May the 3rd of 2025.
Amazing what you guys do. So if our listeners want to volunteer or donate, is that done through the website as well?
It can be done through the website or by calling our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week helpline at 1-800-272-3900, and we can help connect you with the right volunteer opportunity or where you would like to place your financial support.
That's wonderful. Is there anything we haven't covered that you would like to share with our listeners?
You know, I have friends who, we talk about aging, we talk about retirement, and I thought, the day I'll know I can retire is when I don't hear, I wish I had known about the Alzheimer's Association when I was going on this journey. Please share this information as you learn about people. Let them know this is a challenging disease. It is a challenging path, but there is support to help make that journey easier, and we are ready to do that.
That's amazing. Yeah, when you do have a loved one that gets impacted, things can turn upside down in your family very, very easily. So wonderful, wonderful work what you guys do. I appreciate you sharing that with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpsouthcharlotte.com. That's gnpsouthcharlotte.com. Or call 980-351-5719.